The Let's Talk Craft Book Club is about to get a little bit spookier. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Laura Writes, ding! And if you're new here, hi, I'm Laura. I write young adult fiction and I am currently writing a young adult horror. And here on this channel, I like to do all kinds of writing related videos, including chronicling my journey towards becoming a traditionally published author. Hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully 2021 is going to bring me a little bit closer to that dream. But something else I also do on this channel is talk a lot about writing craft. I like to read writing craft books, I like to review them, talk about them, and I also host here on my channel the Let's Talk Craft Book Club, a book club for writers. So what we do is we read a writing craft book and then we discuss it in a live stream. So we started it last year in 2020 and we did about 6 or so books and we picked it back up here in 2021 and we just had our first of the year back on January, I think like 12th. I don't remember the exact date. I'll have it linked down in the description if you didn't get a chance to check it out. We discussed The Magic Words by Cheryl Klein, and my co-hosts for that were my brother Kevin, who co-hosts all of the book club discussions, and Miss Alexa Dunn. So if you didn't get a chance to see that, make sure you check it out because we talk about a lot of great stuff in regards to writing for children and young adults. Now, in 2021, we're doing things a little different with the book club. And instead of reading one book a month, which was kind of a lot for people who are trying to write, create content, and do all kinds of other things in their lives, we are going to be doing one every other month. So since the first one was January, our next one is going to be in March. So what I'm going to do in today's video is announce what book we're going to be reading, what special co-hosts we're going to have, and what date and time we're going to have for the next Let's Talk Craft live book chat. So first, let's talk about the book. As I'm sure you can imagine from the beginning of this video and the title, we're going to go a little bit of the spookier, scarier route this time. As you guys know, and as I just said in the video, I'm currently writing a young adult horror, and it kind of seems like there's a movement in that direction, and quite a few people either want to write horror, have thought about writing horror, or maybe they're just curious about it. And so I thought we should read a book about how to write horror. So one of my viewers actually mentioned this book to me a few months ago, knowing that I'm writing horror, and it just came out actually in, I want to say, September 2020. It's a fairly new book. And for those of you who do write horror, you know that it's kind of hard to find books that are specifically talking about writing horror. There are a lot about thrillers and suspense, which often go along with horror, but it's been really hard to find one that's really specifically talking about the craft of writing horror. So when this book was pointed out to me, I was like, I'm gonna need to check that out. So the book we're going to be reading in March is Writing in the Dark by Tim Waggoner. So like I said, this just came out back in September, and what I believe it is actually a compilation. He wrote a really popular writing horror blog, and he also, I believe, taught courses in it on how to write horror. He's written a lot of horror and quotes and uses a lot of other horror writers in this. It is pretty comprehensive, and he kind of collated all of his blogs and teaching lessons and things like that and put them in this book and published it. So it's kind of a weird shaped book if you get the actual like hard copy, though it's not hard copy, it's soft. It's like that soft matte. And it's like a weird shape, but it kind of reminds me of like a workbook, but it's not. It's pretty dense. It's got a lot of stuff in there. But I am really, really excited to read this because it really breaks down basically every section of horror you can think of. And I was really, really impressed by the table of contents. I mean, let me just tell you a couple of the chapters. So we have some typical chapters on things like how to avoid cliches, how to come up with strange ideas. He also has a whole chapter on the horror hero's journey, which I am particularly interested in. There are several chapters on fear, both the psychological elements as well as the literal physical elements. He talks about horror stylistic techniques, writing effective action in a horror book, and even includes psychological and pain questionnaires for your characters. So the book definitely seems like it has something for everyone, no matter what kind of horror, what age bracket, or even if you're doing something like dark fantasy or contemporary fantasy. I think it's got a lot of elements in here that are going to really help a lot of people. So I am really, really excited to talk about this in March, and I'm even more excited about the co-hosts. So as you guys know, my brother Kevin over at Kevin the Writer always co-hosts with me, but I always try to get additional co-hosts who I think will benefit from this book and will bring unique perspectives. So for this book chat, I'm going to have 2 additional co-hosts, both who write horror. So for the first additional co-host to this Let's Talk Craft Book Club live chat is going to be Liselle Sambury. As you guys know, Liselle is a fellow authortuber, and also this is her debut year for her upcoming young adult urban fantasy sci-fi-ish with black witches book. And if you haven't already pre-ordered it, I will include the pre-order link down in the description. Definitely pre-order it because you're gonna want to read that book. She's also dabbling in the horror writing, and she currently has a book on submission that is a YA horror. So I definitely wanted to include her and get her opinion on some of the elements of this book. Now, the second additional co-host that we're going to include is another fellow authortuber and a good friend of mine, Kristen Leatherman. Kristen also writes young adult and adult horror, and she was also very excited to pick up this book, and she's super excited to join us during the discussion to see, does this really live up to the hype? Is this the book we've all been looking for? You're gonna have to tune in to find out. So when are you asking you need to tune in and find out? Well, I'm glad you asked. So we're gonna be having our live book chat discussing this book on Sunday, March 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Again, that is Sunday, March 14th, 3 p.m. Eastern time. That will be here on my channel, Laura Writes. So if you are not already subscribed, please be sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss it. And if you don't already follow the Instagram for the book club, I will have all that information down in the description, as well as a link for the book so you can go ahead and order it. This does come in this kind of hard copy as well as electronic copy. So what's the TLDR? Just one more time. We're gonna read Writing in the Dark. It's gonna be me, Kevin the writer, Liselle Sambury, Kristen Leatherman, March 14th, Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna get spooky, we're gonna get scary, we're gonna discuss the ins and outs of writing horror and all things ooh. So I really hope that you guys will read this book and discuss it with us on March 14th, because this is probably the book that I am the most excited to read so far since we started the book club. So I'm really ready to learn and ready to think on some stuff and ready to see if Mr. Tim Waggoner can help me finish my book. If you like being a part of this book club, or you're looking forward to reading this book with everyone, please be sure to hit that like button to let YouTube know that other people might be interested in this book club as well. And like I said before, if you're not already subscribed, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!